Send me the picture, Chill.
Woohoo! What up, what up, what up, good people? Look who it is. It's me, your homegirl, Key Lolo, a.k.a. Ladosha, coming to you live and direct from my BFF house. What you know about that? What you know about that? Guess who I'm with? I'm with my BFF. Where you at, BFF?
In the hizzy, talk to me,
In the
Cleveland.
hizzy. What's up, Sade? I see you. What's happening? You guys won't believe who's sitting in the middle of us. We are sandwiched in, nestled in here in the wonderful, wonderful Cleveland Heights. I said Cleveland Heights. That's from Cleveland, Ohio. We're in the land, the greatest location in the nation. And who is sitting in the center? Check this out, ladies. Don't even try to get the phone number. It's not, it ain't even, but he looks good in real life. Check him out. But you might not, this name might get y'all. Y'all ready? This is my brother, Uncle West, a.k.a. what's he called, Chill?
The God Killer.
Woo! Y'all want to have a conversation with a man who calls himself the who?
The God Killer.
Fire. So, I hope y'all having a good morning because this is going to be a dynamic discussion. It's going to be a great discussion. So we just going to get a little build here as I get my little dupe. I hope y'all like my new color. It's a little popping right here. It's
African hairstyle.
Watch out. This is real African. Vince, what's up? Wait, Uncle West in Cleveland? Yes, the God Killer. Vince, you're going to love this one. Stay with us. So let me get this build going. Oh, Vince, I'll be bringing him back. Don't worry. I'm going to bring him back, and we got to do something at your place. So, Vince, you know, we going to call you when this is over with, okay? But anywho.
Hey, Vince. I called Vince yesterday. Vince know I called him yesterday.
That's why we were calling you yesterday. Vince like, why are they calling me? All right, so here we go, Vince. Here we go. Everybody,
Vince
stop.
had enough of me.
No, Vince ain't. Whatever.
Vince said, hell no.
Fatu! We got Gambia in the house.
Hey.
Fatu, stay with us. Woo! We just showed him all about you, Fatu. He was like, okay, he might. He said he might come to West Africa, but you know.
Who, me?
He's scarred.
No, I'm coming to West. I'm coming.
He said he's coming. Yes.
Gambia?
Yes.
Damn right. The way
He
they
said,
talk about
all
that.
right. We told him all about it, Fatu. So let's get this conversation going, guys. In case you did not know, I am in the middle. Well, actually, I'm 3/4 way through with my interviews for my documentary, and it is called The Narrative, all right? So The Narrative is this super duper dope documentary that's going to take viewers on a wonderful, wonderful journey, right? About the evolution of Afro hair care, hair styling, right? And then, of course, the creatives behind it. And it's centered around the legendary, the late, the one and only Dr. Willie Morrow. So I know a lot of you guys are wondering, well, why would a hairstylist do a documentary, all right? So we got the other BFF to drop through. What's up, BFF?
Smooth,
you should have been on over here with us. But anywho, we'll take you. Oh, we got a cosmetology teacher in the chat. Oh, y'all ready? Okay. So I know you guys are probably thinking like, why would a cosmetologist, do a documentary, right? So we would do these for two reasons. Number one, I'm doing the documentary because most of the times documentaries are about us, but they're not really directed. They're not produced by us. So people are always looking at the beauty industry from the outside looking in. Right? And there are some wonderful documentaries about hairstyling, beauty salons, so many. But this is going to be an intro to get a build to the bigger audience about the beauty industry from the inside, right? So that's one. Number two is this whole thing, what I'm going to call the fakery, all right? And so the fakery now, on a personal note, we're going to talk about it personal, and we're going to blend it also professionally, all right? So, but seriously, guys, from behind the chair, the fakery, the pseudoism, the revisionism, all of this stuff that's taking place, stealing in the beauty industry, it makes my career, Denise West's career as a cosmetology instructor. We are also salon owners and everybody else who works in the beauty industry, barbers as well, nail technicians, estheticians, colorists, colorists, braiders, weavers, whatever. Our careers are so impacted and affected by fake stuff. I mean, this stuff is so fake, we can barely do the service, number one. Number two, more importantly, it has literally killed the black beauty industry. It's almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent because of fake stuff. And so one of the things that's dear to my heart, because I lived it, and anybody knows me, I don't shy away from it because I like to tell the truth. So Rashida said, it's so fake, how fake is it? I'll tell you how fake it is. This fakery is so fake, it cost my son, my firstborn son, his entire life. That's how fake it is. I'm talking about very fake. So typically we don't like to put our business out there because it gets so emotional. Yeah. But we do evolve from unfortunate situations, and people are so anesthetized, they're kind of numb to death. You see these killings and you watch them on TV like they're video games. But I'm telling you, when you watch your very own child die before your very eyes, like literally, I actually lost the opportunity to see him take his last breath because of quackery stuff. And so in the chat, you'll see the description. And it says, nature versus science. Who is Dr. Sebi? So I'm going to tell my story. And then Chill and Ankh, we're going to break down this story of what happened with my son and how it trickled into my career as a cosmetologist. So you can really say this documentary is fueled by this circumstance, right? Also, it's with the intent to preserve the legacy of Dr. Willie Morrow, because we can't let this ignorance mess up people's lives, and then also will cost a person his life. A real live human. My son, he was the bomb. WillieTheBomb.com.
Oh, that was the man.
The man. I mean, I'm not saying he was perfect. He had some stank in his shit. I'm just telling the truth according to proof, all right? But he was a wonderful person. And we can't let this happen to Dr. Willie Morrow's legacy. So we're going to start off with, what happened with your son and Dr. Sebi? So my son was very medically fragile. He was diagnosed with a very, very rare form of cancer. Okay? Very, very rare form of cancer. And so he decided, he did not tell me, by the way, I'm his best friend, his mama. I'm talking about, I had my son when I was like 15 years old, okay? My real BFF. He decided to not tell me this. To me, this was a cult. And so the cult that I'm talking about is the Dr. Sebi cult. So my son was following this gentleman and his peoples, all right? Now, I want to say some bad stuff, but he gone too. Dr. Sebi gone too, okay? So my son was following this guy and his quacks, okay? And what they were basically teaching my son was that do not take the medication. Now, I don't know what all the medications that was available to him because he never told me, but he had this rare form, and I would just say it was like lymphoma. Somewhere all in his lymph nodes. So we'll say that's what it was, but it had a very rare name, okay? And so he was spending all his money. This stuff was not cheap. My son had a good job. He made good money. He was a hustler. He was not broke by any stretch of the imagination, okay? And so he was spending all this money. He was taking this medication. He was taking these herbs. Is what he was taking. He had this concoction. I never saw him taking this stuff. Mind you, I never knew he was sick. Mind you, didn't he look good?
That's my boy.
He looked good like Ankh. He was built. He had the six-pack. You can Google DeVere Wright and you will see a very perfect specimen. He had beautiful hair, his teeth, everything. He was like just a regular homeboy. And he was gay. I got to put that out there because he was gay and proud, okay? And so he was taking this stuff. And so by the time I found out that he was following this quack, it was too late. But right before he told me, he shared with me that he was sick, And I was like, well, you have the option. At this point that I found out, he had the option to take the chemotherapy. And he was like, I'm not taking it. I'm like, what do you mean you're not taking it? He said, no, it's my body, it's my life. And I've been following Dr. Sebi. And I'm like, okay, who is Dr. Sebi? So he shows me this video, not making this up, with the singer Left Eye Lopez, that she went to visit him. Mind you, she dies in a car crash, I think. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, she for sure died in a car
Okay, she was in a car crash. And so my son was listening to Lisa Left Eye Lopez and her crew who believed Dr. Sebi, okay? And all of his teachings. When I tell you there was nothing we could do to convince him, he believed that the medicine he was taking, I mean, not the medicine, the herbs, he was buying all these herbs. And of course, I went to the bank, and when I tell you thousands, I'm not, thousands, no, $10,000. Her, not drug seller, I'm talking about a working artist. Thousands of dollars. What you call it when you send people money?
Cash App?
No, this is before Cash App.
Western Union.
Western Union. Sending these people this money for these herbs and these vitamins and these teas and these alkaline diets and these alkaline. Now, I'm not saying, whatever.
I'm saying it.
Say it. Say it.
It's a bunch of bullshit, man. And yeah, when you told me your story, I was like, man, that's the worst. And I just wish we would kind of. Well, I don't know if we wanted to bring it up in the documentary or not.
I didn't want to bring it up in the documentary because it was separate, and I didn't want to take it off on a tangent. But we're using this opportunity to really tell you guys what they don't tell you behind the scenes of Dr. Sebi is this conversation. Where are the families? The people who have been left behind, because they're not here. They might be living now because he did notice when he changed his diet, he was vegan, he was alkaline, he was quinoa, he was, you don't mix foods with certain foods, you don't eat foods at a certain time. He was on it. Organic. I'm talking about he sourced, if the boots they wore was organic, the tractors that drove up to, he was immersed in this culture.
So, okay, they actually did a clinical trial study on this very thing, and they was trying to figure out what type of diet would be best for humans, and so they wanted to try out the veganism. So, what best way to test it is to take a group of humans to the zoo. So they took the humans to the zoo, and they allowed the humans to eat the same thing that the chimpanzees was eating. Right? The carrots, the lettuce, all the fruits. That's what the chimpanzee eat. So these people, they go into the zoo, and they're overweight. Some got diabetes, okay, high blood pressure, all the stuff you get from just eating bad. So African Americans definitely need to change their diet. But we want to know, should we just be vegan? So they want to know. So this is the importance of science. Chill know this, right? So we want to know the answer to something that occurs in the natural world. We use the science. So they take these 10 people in the zoo, and they start to eat the same food chimpanzees ate. Man, 30 days in, people lost weight. They started to feel better because they had no processed food. Chimpanzees don't eat processed food, right? They lost weight. Their high blood pressure went back to normal. They had the type of diabetes that the diet causes. That went away, and they felt 100% better. They said, "Oh, this is it." Okay, well, the next stage is, well, let's continue it. So they went for another 2 months. What they found out was there was a certain level where it peaked, where you was at optimum health, right? What they realized is that Homo sapiens sapiens couldn't be vegan because after a month and a half, it started to go back in the other direction.
No, so my son said, "Look at our teeth, Mom."
No.
Our teeth are not made to eat meat, Mom.
Yeah, but Homo sapiens are omnivores. We eat every goddamn thing. The problem is the processed foods that we eat. The human body has not evolved to handle the processed food. But the point I want to make here is that what they found out was that a vegan diet is really a healing diet. So if you're trying to get yourself back to health, you eliminate all the processed foods, all the sugars, eat the vegetables, right, for a certain amount of time, and then what they learned is they weaned the people back on solid food real slow and had a balanced diet from that point on. That's what helped him. But to speak to your point, the reason he felt so good because he got rid of all the trash, all the sugars, all the processed foods and all that. Of course you're gonna feel better. But this is the trick. This is the trick that you say, see, it's that. No, it's not that. Because at a certain point, we know it. Leader Africa and all, and they ran around here looking sick. You cannot maintain that type of diet. We wasn't made to maintain those types of diets right there. But y'all can look that up.
Well, he also, now I don't know if this was his original thought, but he also was saying, and this is what, to me, this was like a cult, because he kept S-A-B-I, Dr. S-A-B-I. She's trying to hashtag Dr. Sabi, sorry. S-E-B-I. Dr.
Foolery.
Yes, Dr. Foolery. No, Dr. Sabi. S-E-B-I.
He's not even a damn doctor.
Oh.
See, that's your first clue. The clue is that when a person uses the title as doctor, but talks shit about doctors, that's a red flag. Then why do you need the title of doctor? Because they know a doctor brings a certain level of expertise to a situation, a certain amount of prestige. So they use these titles, but yet they poo-poo on everything that's based off the medical field. I just found that to be very interesting. Why use that title?
Right.
Well, I do want to say for all the people are listening, and I know Ankh knows this, and Dosha, I'm sure that you know this, that people revere Dr. Sabi. Yeah. I mean, they revere. Some of them may or may not even be following his dietary, or they just know his name, his aura, especially in the hip hop community, or in the new woke community, or even in the new age or vegan, or healthy. He's large. His name is large, and it carries this aura of natural health. Yeah. And we talked about that yesterday, where people seem to think that everything natural is good in its natural form. Great. And that's something that I'll let you rock out on before. But I also want to say that I know a lot of people that are vegan, and they've maintained that lifestyle. I know Vince is watching. He's vegan, and so I don't know. I would like for a vegan to tell me, and it's a lot, but a lot of people, but how they supplement all the nutrients that they need. I guess it's because I do know a lot of people that have been vegan for a long time. So I don't know how that works based on the information that you just.
Yeah, we know how it works.
Okay,
it's not hard to
finish. Hit it. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm telling you, we clearly understand the diet of Homo sapiens sapiens. Matter of fact, our species would not be here today if we was vegans. First of all, cooked meat allowed your brain
right.
to grow larger. So you had the other African apes, right, that just ate, berries and nuts. Okay, teeth was made for that. Okay, the difference between what we did was when we ate the cooked meat, you no longer got to forage all day long. So you actually run around all day long trying to maintain a certain amount of calories. You can't hunt for super long because you got to get more calories. But those who ate the cooked meat, first it was raw meat, then it was cooked meat, which gave it a whole lot of protein, packed meals. You can eat one meal and then you on everybody else's ass while they run around trying to get some vegetables and leaves.
True that.
They done.
Right.
Now you can eat one meal and sit back and chill. Now you can think about how to get this.
Now when I say this, guys, I had never talked to Dr. Sabi, but his cohorts I know that they was on the phone with him because we was like having, I'm talking about bitch motherfucker back and forth nigga shit. Talking about some well we came from the when we was brought here on this earth, it wasn't no meat. This is what we do as Africans. I'm like, it's ancient. It's you're off the kilter on your timeline. Look at where we're living now. Look at how we're living now. That's number one. Number two, where's your hospitals? Where is your place for my son to go? He had nowhere to go to get triaged. The Sabi community had no facility. They had nothing. He had to go all the way to some place out of the country that has no regulation. And we know so many people who's had plastic surgeries going to these places that don't have regulations, okay? And people's health are compromised. So somebody's in the chat saying, you got your genital herpes cured a month ago. I'm here to tell you, something's lying dormant.
Who said that?
This in the chat. She's like, no, I'm telling you guys.
That's a virus. That's a virus. You're not curing that.
Yeah,
that's not
and Vince said that he's been vegan since. I know Vince has been vegan for a long time.
And I'm not saying I'm not putting down. Vegetarian. I'm not putting down the vegan diet. I'm talking about.
I'm putting it down based off the bullshit.
Right.
I'm not playing. Hold on. I can't do it. Simple as this. I advocate a healthy, balanced diet, fruits and vegetables and lean meats. Right. Sugars and all that stuff. All that shit knock you down. But to sit up here and lie. Matter of fact, for all y'all Black Power Negropeans, the vegan diet is the European diet. Because they brought that over here from India. So everybody trying to play African, Black African power. I'm going to ask you this question. Name me one indigenous African tribe that's vegan. Where they at? You on the savannah. Meat running around. Antelope. Okay? Food source. So you saying they going to look at all that running and just go with the leaves? What about when all that stuff go? And all you got is the forage. So it's a bunch of malarkey based off the lie. If it was real, why not give us some real evidence and we have this serious conversation? It's your choice to eat what you want to eat.
Right.
But don't lie behind it and get people sick and have them in the Dr. Sabi cult and fucking lose their life.
And that's what I'm saying.
Bunch of bullshit.
So when I say, and I mean, it's said the way you say it, but I'm saying, I understand a person's choice to not want to eat pork, meat, whatever. I understand that. But my son, he believed this stuff. He paid for it with his cold hard money. He felt that what these people were saying was absolutely unequivocally true. He was we even had to buy a certain kind of water. It got so bad I actually had to placate this. You know how your parents say sometimes you got to pay the fool to do what? Catch the motherfucking wise. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to do that. I had to go along with the alkaline water. We were buying Deer Park water. It had to be a certain brand. We had to get kale. It had the plastic. The cups had to be, to blend it up, you had to use a certain type. And I'm like, Ruru, who is this Dr. Sabi? Where did he come? He won the case. He cured AIDS. He won the case. The white man don't want y'all to know this. I'm like, he cured AIDS? It's proof.
See, that's part of the Dr.
He won. Dr. Sabi cured AIDS, and they killed him. And he had these pictures of all these people that the government killed because they knew the natural way to heal cancer, AIDS, and the mucus. They had this theory about the mucus.
Right.
That all this
stuff. That's
not
original to Sabi.
That's Arnold. That's Dr. Arnold, the white boy Arnold.
Yeah. Okay, so
Arnold came with the mucus diet.
That's why I said all of his cohorts.
White
all
boys.
Of his cohorts.
This is all white boys down, but we supposed to be wanting to follow African people and want to follow
speak
black
to
people.
that. Can you speak to that?
Arnold.
No, I'm saying speak to the notion that about the how do I want to say this? Just the whole thing that if you take these herbs, if you drink this stuff, this is going to cure that he cured all these things.
Okay.
He
You
used
wanna go
that they
to
killed
like
him
that?
for
I
this.
do want. I'm gonna give you the lead in. All I ask of anybody, whatever doctor, clinician, herbalist, is that it be testable and provable. And did we hold Dr. Sabi to that? Did he go through proper testing to prove, yes, this stuff that I'm telling people to do works? Here's how we tested it. These are the double blind groups. Here's how we issued out there for, like anybody else is expected. Like we expect when the vaccines came out and before they had gotten full approval, people like, see, they haven't gotten the full FDA approval. Okay, well, you know what? I want you all to hold everybody else. Herbs, fruits, anything that you're saying, a new concoction of some pills that somebody made, hold all of them to those same rigorous standards. And all I want to know is, did Dr. Sabi, was he ever held to all those standards to prove that he had cured anything? Was he ever held to those standards that you know of?
So, okay, it was three things. It was a point that you spoke of before you had spoke. I want to always keep us right there. We talked about nature and how nature, every day they overemphasize, the pseudos, they overemphasize the word nature. It's the darndest thing. 99% of all living organisms have been murdered by nature. They've been rendered extinct. That's 99% of anything that's ever came to be on planet Earth has been extinct, natural. Anything on planet Earth is potentially a poison. So it's actually based off of amounts. Too much water will kill you. Too much oxygen will kill you. Too much food will kill you. Right? So the whole thing about nature is dangerous. Nature is always trying to weigh you down. Gravity is weighing you down. Everything around you. You just will not live forever based off of nature. So this overemphasizing and misuse of the term natural is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm just going to say it. So how do you tell the difference between herbs and medicines? What's a medicine? What's a herb? Homo sapiens sapiens been around at least 190,000.
Is that
150,000 in South Africa.
Is that all?
350,000 in the Morocco region of the planet, right? That's archaic Homo sapien. So wait a minute. You mean to tell me the Egyptians, they just found an Egyptian mummy with cancer, right? So you find them all the time with different diseases. Smallpox. So I'm just trying to figure out. So you mean to tell me, watch this, they're actually living in an environment pre-industrial age.
Pre-industrial.
No chemicals.
No chemicals.
They ain't invented it yet. The Romans was smoking some damn lead, right? Fucking they self up, excuse my language, right?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
that's cool.
But that's about it. No chemicals, no pesticides, everything going natural, the garlic, the cloves, all the stuff y'all talking about.
Right.
No. They had pestilence, but they had no pesticides. Right? So I'm saying the pesticides actually saved humanity. Most people don't know that, right? Humans would have starved out without the pesticides.
Yep.
There is no inch of planet Earth that does not have the pesticides right now. So watch this. So let's go back pre-pesticides. Nothing. The water pure. You can reach in certain springs, right, and drink the water. None of the stuff y'all talking about. And they couldn't cure the viruses. Obviously, all that natural shit wasn't working. It wasn't. The population was low. Wasn't 8.5 billion people on planet Earth with all the natural stuff we talking about. So it's a miseducation, a misunderstanding of where we at, what natural is, and they take advantage of that. That's a bunch of malarkey. That's my point. Nobody can get around that. Nobody can get around it. You talk about the teeth. Your teeth is made to eat every goddamn thing.
Well, this is what they told him.
Man,
I'm telling you, he believed this stuff. He would not eat certain things, and he looked, like I said, he looked really good. But to you guys' point, because I don't know how long he was doing this. I didn't even want to talk about it because I was just too outdone. I'm going to be honest to tell you guys that towards the end, he realized it was quackery. And you want to know how he knew it was quackery?
Wow.
Anybody want to take a guess? How did he figure out? He just concluded. He didn't figure it out. He actually came to the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Rashid, you want to take a stab at it? How do you think Ruru said this came? It's sad, guys. Sad, sad, sad. And this is what they don't talk about. Where are the parents of the people? You always hear the people right in it, in the midst of it. Like he said, in that honeymoon period, when they're taking their herbs, they're drinking the stuff, their body is making the adjustment, reaping the benefits. Where are they 10, 15, 20 years from now? Where are they? I'll tell you how he figured it out. He stopped sending them money.
I was going to say something
I
about
was
money.
like,
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to.
I said, do they have, because then he didn't have enough money. So he was wondering, could he modify some of these recipes, some of these herbs that had to be sent over, and people selling him stuff online and YouTube. I mean, oh my God, this stuff was unbelievable. People, he was packets of stuff. That some of this stuff, I even opened up some of the stuff, and you know what it was?
What?
It was just leaves off the ground. I'm not making this up. They was literally, because how do we know? How do we know what it is? Because I had a customer. He was over the Case Western Reserves. I can't think of it. Max. If you went to Case and you know Max with the white hair, he looked like a black Einstein. He actually took the stuff and went and said it's not even herbs. Can you imagine that? It wasn't even herbs. It was nothing. It was just dirt.
Well, see, Dosh and Oxy, and that's what I was asking. We ask people who are down with natural healing and a lot of woke black folks, a lot of woke brothers and sisters. We ask a lot from the medical and scientific community. How do we know what's in it? Who made it? How do we know that they're not trying to kill us? We don't even know what's in that stuff. Okay, when the medical community, the scientific community, they know what's in it. They post what's in it. They present what's in it. But my point is, we don't ask any of that stuff from these outside.
He said Dr. Sebi cured AIDS and cancer.
What I'm saying is, we never ask for any of that information.
I asked him.
Not you. I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying in real life.
Right. The people who partake
Can anybody
of this.
tell us how Dr. Sebi actually cured cancer?
Let me do this. So, there are certain viruses that could actually cause cancer. There's certain industrial chemicals that could cause cancer. And there's no one cancer. So, since we study biological evolution, which is actually the foundation of modern biology, so even if he was able to cure a certain cancer, the other cancers have mutated. We're seeing it right in front of our faces with the coronavirus. With the vaccines at certain points weren't as effective.
They're man-made. That was
because it actually mutated.
His response, it's man-made. Open up your blinders, Mom. He said the white people were making these viruses and deliberately killing off black men, particularly because he was gay. He thought it was an attack on gay people as well. They were harvesting our organs and things of that nature. Can you speak to that?
I don't know about the harvesting of the organs and all that. You give enough people to get their shit away to science anyway.
Our volume is low. Take that thing.
How you make the volume up? You can make
Just
it.
pull it. No, just pull it back up.
What, Mike?
Mike.
Just pull it there. No, take it out.
You good.
Here we go. How's that? How's that? Bruce, thank you, Bruce.
All right. How's the
So
volume?
all that time we couldn't hear?
He just said it was low.
She said again.
Point
Alright.
making. What was I saying? The point.
The point is that he was saying that this stuff is curable.
Okay, I don't know about the harvesting people
No.
get away stuff to science. I got it. I'm back on track. The reality is white people aren't that smart, and I'm tired of that shit. Science ain't that damn smart. Oh, they made the coronavirus. No, we found the same type of virus in nature, right? With certain variations to it. They actually found that. So how could you make a virus that has the exact same variations in it that nature has. Science isn't that smart. So it's the over emphasizing of what science can do that really gets us in trouble.
Well,
There's thousands of things that science does not understand about the world, about the natural world. There's so much more to learn. So they're not that. It would be the greatest genius known to mankind that could actually duplicate that virus like that and have the exact same mutations in it in the exact same places.
And give it to the right amount of people.
Nonsense, man.
Yeah, to give it to the right amount of people and select that group of people and only get rid of
That
those.
group
And
of
that was an aha moment for him. I'm like, Ruru, think about what you're saying. They're going to create a virus that's only going to match a certain kind, a certain race. Black race is made up.
Yes, a social
So
construct.
you believe that there's a such thing as black people. None of this stuff is real, Ruru. You cannot be serious. He believed it. And it was like what you guys call it. It was like lookership. He kept talking about what you could see and, you know, look at this, look at this, look at that. And I'm like, no, Ruru, it's more to it, it's more to it. But once he pulled back the money just to see. And I asked him, you know, pull back the funds and see what happens.
You're going to forget about you.
Tell them you don't have enough money for that. Just try it. Because he had my cousins, everybody was giving him money, all this crazy nonsense. And people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to. I always say, I see all this doctor. I just, you know, I
We
can't.
need to get together some families that this actually happened to and had an informed discussion, because I'll tell you this, the European communities have. They don't play that shit. Yeah, you're ousted. You're going to go down in history as a quack.
Right.
Right to the Wikipedia page. Quack.
Yeah.
And then
Quack.
here's
Top-notch quack.
here's the thing on the flip side of that, right? So we get into the hospital because now he's so sick.
Yeah, man.
Now this is a true story. We get into the hospital, right? And they realize he has this rare cancer. I cannot think of the name of it. Now the hospital does not want to let him leave the hospital. Now this I'm telling the truth. We had to steal him out of the hospital.
Why?
Wow.
Why are you still on that?
Rashida, am I making this up?
Why you want to steal him out of the hospital, though?
Now that's the other side of the story.
That's what I'm gonna say. Why are you taking them out?
We don't. I wish. I'm telling you, they did everything in their power to try to keep him in that hospital.
Give me the picture.
Oh, I was gonna let it pour for you. We had to try to do everything. This is a true story, guys. I'm not. Hattie Mae is in the chat. She'll tell you the truth. Hattie Mae, did we not have to dress Ruru up
I'm trying to
and
figure why y'all
sneak
do
him?
it. Why y'all do it, though?
Because they said he couldn't leave.
Oh,
Well, why was y'all trying to
why
take him
y'all
out?
trying to take him?
Because he wanted to leave. He didn't want the medication.
Oh, okay. Y'all was
didn't
doing it
want
because
it.
he didn't want to.
He was like, at this point, he had came to the conclusion it was too late.
Okay, so he was just done.
He was like, I'm done.
Mentally, he was tapped out.
He was done.
Based off the fucking mental struggle that he went through with that bullshit.
Right.
Right? Because this world we live in, at the end of the day, it's going to be mental. You either think you're having a good day or a bad day, no matter what happens to you. How you said, Ladosha? Whether it's good or bad, just
For the experience. It is. Because you're gonna die at the end of the day. I mean, this situation has made me totally I'm non-attached.
Listen, no, I'm saying that's hurtful, because the reality is the brother was defeated mentally on the situation.
He was.
Because he had put his hope,
He
his
did.
aspirations,
Yes.
and his whole because it's based in blackness. That was the hook.
It was the
Right?
hook.
So he loved his people, obviously. Being around his mother, who loved their people, right? And you feed into it. I know what it's like, and you believe them, and you feeling good at times, and you believe that there's an actual cure outside of what the white people got, which
Right.
is nonsense. And then when you find out that you spent thousands of dollars and you've been lied to, and you're still sick, man, it kind of breaks you at the end of the day.
Right.
And you just want to be left alone at that point.
Right.
You don't trust nobody.
Right. He didn't.
It's crazy.
And
bro.
so now he's in the hospital. They figure out he's got this rare cancer,
Did
right?
They said they could do something for him?
They said they wanted to use him for research. They did make that abundantly clear. They did. They said we're working on something like that. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. I just want to. I'm ready to go. Dang. Mom, thank you for the good life. Not making this up.
Yeah, that's the bullshit.
And so they said that first they said legally we couldn't remove him because he wasn't in his right mind. Yeah. So we had to get an attorney. Dang. We had to get him assessed and everything to prove that he was of his right mind to leave the hospital. So then they said, oh, if you want to leave, you got to life flight him because he needed certain medications to be able to survive the plane ride. I am not making this story up. And Hattie May is in the chat saying, this is true. So, what did we do? We said we're leaving the hospital. They said we're going to set you up with the hospital in Atlanta that's going to receive him. We said, okay, we knew they was lying. We called the hospital. It was supposed to be Emory. They had never even heard from university hospitals. So we said, okay, we're going to do this. They told me, if you take him out the hospital, we'll have you arrested. Not making this up. So my brother went downstairs and acted crazy with the nurse.
That's how you got to do it.
We had to dress him up looking like a thug because then they wouldn't pay any attention to him.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not making this up. This is the true story. I wish I was. And he was just like, now do you see what I'm saying? You got quacks over here, quacks over there. You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute. I don't want to spin it that way. It's not that they're quacks. Right. It's that they understand. They've seen it all before. This is not new. Over millions of people come through hospitals. They detail us. This is not just white people. They detail our mental stability in these situations. They detail where you at in your stages of cancer. They know these. Like this is what they do.
But I'm saying. So he was saying, quack, not me.
They saying y'all crazy.
Right. But this is what he wanted. So I'm just following along with him. I wanted him to stay there. Trust me, guys.
Yeah,
I did not want him to leave. But this was what he wanted to do, and he wanted to spend his last days in Atlanta. He said, hey, if you want to die good, you got to do what? Live good.
Yeah.
So he wanted to die good. That was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So his mind, because he didn't understand your point, that they knew some certain things along this, deterioration of the disease.
Yeah, you go through different stages. When you're on your way out, it's a different.
Right.
Like we all here to die.
Right.
I mean, ain't no reproduce and die, and you just fill in the blanks on that. But that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I get it. Depending on what system you tapping into, when it's over with. That's why I'm glad I got this moment here. DJ Chill.
MC.
DJ MC. That's that on that album cover.
It's an MC.
But yeah, but I appreciate, actually, coming down in the land, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like the football team.
Yeah, Hattie Mae, she dropping in the chat because she was down. Hattie Mae dropping in the chat because she was there. My best friend, Rashida.
That's a horrible story.
Right,
I always say you need to tell your story.
Right, but and the reason why I'm telling this because I want you guys to understand it went way left because of his belief with the Sabi and his cronies.
Sabaites.
Okay, Sabaites. All right, and so we hope you guys, and we know this ain't for everybody, but I guarantee
it actually is because one of your family members could be going through this.
I was just
and this is what we do know for sure. None of that shit Sabi got work. This is what we can guarantee you.
I was getting ready to say
easy. None of this shit, excuse my language, right? None of the items that they're claiming to be able to do what they can do can't do it. Because if they could do it, somebody with some money would have really put some money into it.
And
made it fashionable and made it measurable for the greater community.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Measurable. That's
make it like because everybody can't take the same amount of nothing anyway. Right? We know it's like there's certain drugs, right, based off of who you are, based off your makeup, there's a certain amount of something you should take or should not take.
Absolutely.
The one glove fits all nonsense is nonsense.
If it doesn't fit,
you gotta quit.
You gotta quit. It ain't gonna fit everybody, guys. OJ taught us that.
So that's the nonsense. So we talked about Percy Julian.
Right.
Okay? And what he did was he actually unlocked the magical plants. He looked at and he figured out what the active ingredients was. Right? So in garlic, even if garlic has a certain medicinal purpose to it, the active ingredient is it gets in your system and leaves too fast. Like marijuana. Marijuana, the THC stays in your system for 30-something days. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But the cocaine is out of your system in 2-3 days. The point I'm making is the active ingredients in garlic does not stay around long enough to do what you think it's going to be able to do.
That lady said she got cured of herpes.
No, first of all, that virus has been with Homo sapiens sapiens since you've been Homo sapiens sapiens. You're not getting rid of that. And y'all can look this up. Go to Vincent Racconetto channel. That virus is in most humans. It just doesn't express itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, two different.
You got two locations. Really, the difference. But period, like most 99% of all Homo sapiens had is part of your gen. It is what it is. And that's not, no, you're not doing that. And thank you for letting us know you got it, though. You still got it. Appreciate you. Who's that? Who was that?
I don't know, Joe. Who's in the chat?
I'm not doing that.
She said she was cured.
Scroll back up.
She was cured. I'm telling you guys.
Y'all, she good.
Man, you know what that is?
You gotta please don't believe this stuff. I implore you guys, go ahead on
Let it go
out. And go. I put all the Dr. Sebi hashtags. Find the families.
Talk to
and
that's what we're gonna do for your son. How about that?
And for the record, dead people, ain't no coming back, so you ain't gonna find none of his survivors.
We gotta do a little something for the brother, man. Like like he can't fight the fight, man.
Right. No. We can't.
And this is why I fight over the pseudo-wisdoms. I was in a cult for 5 years. Right? So sometimes you can be in a cult and not even realize it. It don't even be a bad experience. Everybody think it's the Jim Jones shit. Right? Everything is not like that. Sometimes you can just be in a cult and it's just be an information-based cult.
Right.
Bad information, right? Okay, so these food cults, we got to start naming. That's why I like to name things.
Food cults.
Food cults. We're going to call it that.
Yeah.
Food cults.
Food cults.
Got you in the damn food. Yeah, you can go right to Facebook. Go to Facebook. You can go to Dr. Sebi group. It's a food cult where you get exploited and manipulated based off your lack of knowledge of one. He brought up clinical trials.
And he wanted to belong.
Wanted to be what?
He wanted to belong. That was a family.
To belong.
Yeah.
To be part of
he
the
wanted
group.
to be a part. Yes. That was a part of. He thought that was very elitist. He felt very.
And he was there.
He was a part of a group of people.
That's real.
Yes, it's very.
Trying to get better than everybody else. That's how I was with Malachi.
Thank you, Hattie Mae. Don't drink the juice. Hattie Mae can't say it enough. It said Lakeisha Glenn.
MC Chill. Man, I thought you was DJ Chill.
MC Chill.
MC Chill.
You was rapping. You want to put it together?
Don't.
Say what?
I'm changing your whole career. You know if I say it too many times.
He goofy.
Ain't gonna change it.
Anywho, Hattie Mae, you're right. Don't drink the juice, all right? Eat the food, be balanced, all right?
Yeah.
Go see the doctor.
Processed foods.
See the doctor. Real quick, one thing I want to bring up.
Processed
when you talking to people who talking about everything is natural is good and think this, if it's scientifically connected is bad, and people wanting to point to, they were talking about the talcum powder that was killing people.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell them, but the part that was giving people the cancer was the asbestos that was in it, which is natural. Asbestos is natural.
Did you hear that, guys? Asbestos.
It's a mineral. Asbestos
it's a mineral.
is natural.
It's a mineral. It's natural.
The doctors don't make asbestos.
They don't make it.
They mine asbestos. They grind it from the rocks. Asbestos is natural.
So
don't do that.
And strychnine is natural.
So go take asbestos. It's natural.
Check it out. Don't cook it up.
Look it up.
Look it up. And so you guys can see that so you guys are wondering, how does this tie into the beauty industry? Because we know, I don't know anybody who has died, you know, from getting their hair, you know, did per se, you know what I'm saying? But the seriousness of what people believe about nature or natural when it comes to hair is that serious. It was that serious for my son. It's that serious about their hair. The first thing I want to know, is it natural? Is it this? And I'm like, can we just say one person's name? What's the guy you said? Percy? What's his name? Kirby?
Percy Julian.
Percy Julian. I always say Julian Percy.
What's his name?
Percy Julian.
Percy Julian. And who? George Washington Carver.
Oh, they mess his whole career up like I'm about to do the MC Chill.
You know,
DJ Chill.
These guys did not just take the plants in their raw form and do nothing. Fatu is in the chat, and Fatu will verify this too. When everybody's like, bring the shea butter, bring the shea butter. We want the raw shea butter, bring the raw shea butter. When we were in the Gambia, they were asking us to please bring this stuff here to America and do something. Help us grow. Help us get this international exchange, this commerce. Let's build this black beauty industry. And I said something very interesting last time. What did you say L'Oreal was doing with that shea butter?
They was figuring out the active ingredients and doing their slowly.
Did you hear that? So L'Oreal and them are not going over to Africa, bringing back tubs of shea butter, putting it in a jar and selling it. No. He's telling you they're taking it to the lab and they're doing what? Splitting it. They're splitting molecules. They're trying to see what makes it work. We need to be scientific.
Literate.
And what else could we do with science? Is that what it's called?
Scientific literacy. Yeah, it helps you with your finances. Watch this. Helps you with your finances. It helps you with your civic duties as African Americans. Because you can't help your community if you're not scientifically literate. You can only hurt them. We have a great example of the pandemic. One thing I will tell you, right? When you need a damn hero to appear, a goddamn hero fucking appears. Nature was the hero. Knocked all the pseudos out the box. We had a platform, right, of millions of people dying, 2 million in America dying, and we could actually see if all that nonsense y'all was talking about. What's up, Vince? How you doing, bro? You appreciate you having me on the show with, who was the guy name?
Lewis and Dr. Solomon. Lewis Jefferson, Dr. Solomon.
No, the guy I was on Vince's show and he brought me and Sean on.
Right? I thought that was Lewis. That wasn't Lewis and Dr. Solomon.
The lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it too? Not Cole. No, it's not Cole.
This was on Vince's show.
On Vince's show. Remember we was on that? Y'all remember that?
I thought it was.
Them?
I thought it was Lewis. And
when they was going against the vaccine, we didn't get the argument.
But it was Dr. Solomon and
it wasn't Lewis, us. Yeah. Anyway, so we had the perfect platform to figure out who should work. So it was. We just went through it. We don't have to have this discussion anymore. We're only back to work based off of masks, based off of medical science, based off of vaccines. We're not back to work because of some damn stuff you done grabbed off a tree.
Because of.
What about that sea moss? Richard Bruce says, is that sea moss good?
Vitamins and proper amounts are always good for you. It's how the human body works.
It's good for you, but it's not gonna
stop a virus.
You
know why? Because it's innocuous.
And that means?
That means it's first of all it's non-self, meaning when you come out the womb, you don't got no plants sticking out your damn head.
Okay.
Right. So it's outside of the biological organism. Food is outside of the biological organism.
Okay.
Right? But the body, your immune system, recognize things and it recognize pathogens and things that are harmful to you. Right? So the question is, why doesn't food and herbs come on the radar? When you eat it, why don't the body attack it?
Right.
Because it's innocuous. It's non-harmful to self. That's what they say in English. They say self and non-self. Non-self is all the food, all the stuff, right? It's outside of you, right? And self is everything that's in you.
Okay.
But the immune system has to recognize it. Now, when you have autoimmune diseases, when you have stuff like what is it?
Lupus,
That's all that type of stuff.
Right.
And allergies,
Right.
or foodborne
Sickness,
allergies, peanut aversions. That's your immune system attacking that. We have allergies. That's really your immune system attacking something. Pollen shouldn't be harmful to you, but at a certain point, right, getting overwhelmed, people become allergic to it. That's your immune system attacking it. Runny nose, the snot, your first line of defense.
Right.
That's why Dr. said he was quack. When he said he'd get rid of all the mucus, was really
Yeah,
back to the white boy.
Yeah.
Arnold, it's a lie. You can't even poop without mucus.
You need.
Helps it move.
The mucus,
What do we
right,
say?
helps us.
You gotta.
Right. So to remove mucus from your body, you would die. See how quick? See how easy that is?
That's eliminating your defense.
All that. So that's your
Defense.
first line of defense.
And everybody
immune
wants to
system.
get, and that was his thing. You got to get rid of all the mucus. I'm like, then how will it catch all of the stuff?
Right. It doesn't.
You need
it
the
doesn't
mucus.
filter. It's a filter.
Right. He was like, no mucus,
It
no
makes
mucus, no
You
mucus,
could
no
never get
mucus.
rid of the mucus anyway because you
Right.
would die.
Yeah.
The
He was
alkaline.
mucusy.
The alkaline. They sell it in any food market. And that's how you know y'all got robbed for years off the alkaline because it's on your local shelf now. In any food market, you can get alkaline water. They robbed the black community with the alkaline products. Right or wrong?
Yeah, they did.
Your body maintains a certain level of alkalinity.
Right.
I wish my
You
sister
cannot
was
change that.
watching.
Shout out to the sis. Yeah, your body automatically maintains that.
I was
Drink
trying
water
to
can't
tell
do it.
her. I
No,
was
you
like,
just
when
look
you
it up.
drink the alkaline water, I'm
Do
telling
nothing.
you right now,
It doesn't change.
it's
it.
done. It's done.
And if you were able to change your pH balance or your alkalinity,
Kill
you
yourself.
could one way or the other. You gonna have a problem.
You're
It's
gonna
not
kill
saying
yourself.
your
Big problem.
benefit.
And anybody has a vagina, we all know about what happens when you mess up down there, don't ya? Use the wrong soap, it's a bad situation. So we telling you guys,
Say,
hey, it's a bad situation at hand. The body is smarter than what we think it is. It knows us better than we know ourselves, okay?
Evolution.
So Hattie Mae said, yep, I'm trying to tell you guys, you got to be more careful out here. In the beauty industry, it is my personal goal.
Mm-hmm.
It is my personal goal. All
Slide
right?
over to that. Hold on.
All right.
Why is pseudoisms affecting the hair industry? It's the same thing.
Right. That it's affecting the industry because people believe that if you just use everything natural soap, if you use natural oils, if you use essential oils, if you don't use chemicals like sodium hydroxide, they don't even realize what's lye. They never even ask, like, what is lye? Where does lye come from? It comes in nature.
Yeah, they
It's a tree.
It was always making soap
They
with
was
lye.
always making soap with
With
lye.
Everybody.
always making soap with lye.
Yeah.
And as Cheryl Morrow would say, they wasn't saying nothing about us using that lye soap. We was on them slave plantations, washing them clothes and cleaning up. Come on, guys. What do you got? It's like we forget. You know, oh, we don't need any education in hair. We use hair to buy freedom. That's how black people were buying their freedom. They were working. They were making clothes. They were doing all kinds of stuff. But people, I can't.
No, so watch
The
this.
natural. I'm sorry.
This is the fun part right here. That Africans all of a sudden and African Americans just stop making history.
We just stopped.
Like, if you don't do the Stone Age practices, then you're not African. You know, you might not be hunter-gatherer if you stop doing certain things.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, how many times have I been told that I'm
ain't that one.
not black because I straighten my hair, you know, because I color my hair, or I use chemicals in the hair salon. They want to know, is your salon natural? Do you use chemicals? I'm like, hell yeah, I use chemicals. I'm in the chemical business. We need the advances, like you said. Do you guys really want to go back to that? Do you really want? And we're focusing on the wrong thing,
Right, and
because the competition is getting out on us. We're still trying to hold on to shea butter, coconut. Coconut oil has been the demise of the beauty industry. No legitimate cosmetologist would tell it. We would never style hair with just raw coconut oil.
So you know that stuff has a shelf life because it's natural.
You can't tell them. They believe it doesn't have a shelf life.
It absolutely. That's what you mean talking about.
It's food. It's food. That's the other thing. It's food. They're putting what's this stuff? And sure enough, we're gonna attack this week. Monostat. Remember that Hattie Mae? Monostat on the scalp
For yeast.
for yeast.
Oh wait! You talking about the monostat that the women use for their personal?
The personal parts.
They put it on
the lovely lady humps. You know. My humps, my hump.
Lovely lady.
Our lovely lady, the other
so
humps.
they put it on the.
They're putting it on the scalp, and this is the pseudo. So when I talk about my son's situation, and we talk about the beauty industry, the beauty industry is being very quiet because they're scared. They're intimidated by the PhDs. They're intimidated by the Dr. Sabies. So they're just going along with the go along because they want to belong too, I guess. And those of us who are professionals, who are licensed, who are trained, because you can't just get your license, you have to continue to get the education. So all of this stuff about if you're a natural hairstylist, we don't need any education because white people did not teach us how to cornrow braid hair. Go over to Africa and see if you can say that. Go over to West Africa and see if you can tell them you're not getting any education because you were enslaved. You are a descendant of an enslaved, white person, right?
What you mean?
Yeah, this is what they're saying. That they don't need education because we were brought here in America. They did not teach braiding. So the cosmetology curriculum doesn't teach braiding. Therefore, we can do this ourselves.
But now all humans braid their hair. That's not exclusive to the Native American tribes, Australian tribes, Lox Greek tribes, Britannica and the Isles of Britannica and the Rus, the Russians.
You let your hair grow long enough.
It's gonna lock up.
So, and it's gonna lock up. I just want to say this real quick, Dosh. When they say that you are not really black or you're not staying true to your African heritage, if you color your hair or straighten your hair, I don't care if you put on a wig. That's still part of our tradition. They digging up 6,000-year-old Egyptian mummies. They got on wigs.
Nubian wigs at that.
Y'all doing too much trying to tell somebody what you're not black or you're not. Well, no, you're not black because it's a social construct. But to say that somebody is not holding up to their African traditions, y'all don't even know what the African traditions are. So stop saying that unless you actually learn something about the traditions.
Well, we hope you guys have.
We knew the Ankh was going down.
We ain't diving off it that quick, goddarn it.
We ain't diving off that quick.
But I say it all the time. I'm not an African because I was born in Africa. I'm an African because Africa was born in me. Born in all of us.
All of us.
Born in all of us. So as we do what we do, it's African. As we develop new ideas and concepts, it's African American. That's what we do. We develop culture. Culture is not stagnant. You cannot practice Stone Age, Iron Age, Bronze Age culture in the Stone Age. Your ass gonna get beat every time. You're gonna lose your kids to a bunch of foolery. You're gonna be left behind. You're gonna be broke, running around, mad at white people. I promise you.
I ain't African.
I'm African American.
You know, you get that too in the hair salon.
I'm African American.
Don't be calling me black. I'm Puerto
Rican.
I got some of everything.
You got Indian in your
family. Indian. I'm
Chickasaw.
I'm Jeep Cherokee, baby.
Jeep Cherokee. Y'all seen that new orange Cherokee?
That
orange Jeep I was riding around in. Okay.
The Africans flew a plane in the Stone Age and they got here.
That's what they did. You ain't know? You ain't see on the glyphs?
Built all the pyramids. Nobody could do nothing to the African.
They floated. They used the sounds and they floated up and they used their minds. To
sound waves because they had
How about
the
we just go back to rubbing sticks together to start a fire?
I think we can.
That's natural.
That's natural. How about we just do that?
Wait for the lightning to strike the tree.
Yeah, wait, right. Don't even just wait around. Wait around for lightning to hit the tree and then run if it catch on fire. Run and get it
and burn the stick and keep the fire going. That's natural.
Protect it. Don't go to sleep. Just keep the fire.
Sleep outside. Take off all your clothes. Natural. That's yeah. Take off all your clothes and run. Yeah, because he was in that clothes.
Don't forget to eat the berries.
Eat the berries. Eat the berries and be naked because, you know, homosexuals, they act like we was born with clothes. That's natural, not having on no damn clothes. They don't want to be that nasty.
I don't want to be that nasty.
They don't want to be
I
that
that
nasty.
Well, we need to.
Let me catch you at the grocery store.
Yeah, we're gonna work on getting some
Put clothes
cosmetics.
on.
Let me catch you buying food.
We're gonna work on
Oh, don't
getting
go to
some
the grocery store. Don't have a
cosmetologists.
refrigerator. Hey, you cannot have a refrigerator in the house, and don't get in that car.
You better dig up the
Yeah.
ground and put your meat in the.
Don't forget them Uggs and them Coach and them Chanel bags.
Dig
you
up
know,
all the
fancy
ground and
bags.
put your meat in the ground.
Keep it cool.
Keep it cool.
Hey, shoot your animals
I respect that.
with a stick that you shaved off. Bow and arrows. That's African.
All right, guys.
No
we're climbing.
wheels, cars.
Shut up. We
That's
outta
not
here.
African.
All right, guys. We thank you guys so much. Don't forget to share the
Run from
content.
Cleveland to Detroit.
We
like
really
Savannah.
hope this
Cleveland.
was good. Yeah, drop some comments in the chat.
Pseudo
if you're
killers,
watching
man.
this.
Holla at the pseudo
If
killers,
you
man.
watch this post live.
Pseudo killers. Magi archers. I'm a raw squad up. Y'all know what it is, man. Tap in.
We got our camera person.
She
Our
moving
shit on
slow.
that.
Tap in.